After 90 days of hard work, it was time to see just how much muscle I gained. And let's just say the results were not what I was expecting.
Most people think not possible or very unlikely to put on 5 pounds of muscle in 3 months. Was it possible? And is Brandon, in fact, natural? How much muscle can you put on natural in 90 days? Well, Brandon Williams aimed to find out.
So for the next 3 months, I'll be following the most effective, science-backed training and diet to push the limit of what's possible without steroids.
And when he says without steroids, he's talking about 100% natural. No PEDs, no growth hormone, no SARMs, no nothing. And he has the leading experts of the world to help him out. Of course, he forgets to call up Coach Greg. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. They keep asking so-called experts, but they forget to call Coach Greg.
This is me on day 0, after 5 years of consistent training. And according to the world's most accurate tests, I'm 163 pounds at 13% body fat.
Freeze frame right there. According to the world's most accurate test, he did not contact Coach Greg and ask me for my laser eye body fat assessment. But he says, hey, it's the most accurate. I think he used hydrostatic weighing, underwater weighing, the water test, and he came out at 13% body fat. And according to my laser eyes, it's actually correct. Sometimes those machines, they do in fact get it right.
Now for this challenge, there are 3 basic goals I need to follow in order to be successful. Number 1, failure. Every single set I do will be to failure.
I remember the same thing happened in Jeff Nippard's video. Remember, he trained an entire year and said, I'm going to train harder than last time. I'm going to now push myself to failure each and every day. What I've noticed is consistently happening is people who train harder than last time, as in harder than they were before, they're making hella gains. And so I'm sure that many of you have been listening to science-based training, that you don't need to train all that hard. 3 reps in reserve. Don't push yourself. That is for beginners. Whenever they do these studies on people for long periods of time, they use beginners or intermediate lifters. They don't use advanced lifters. And so if you've been training in the gym for 5 years or more, my opinion, you're an advanced lifter and you need to train really freaking hard.
Calorie surplus. Now I'm just gonna eat as much as possible, but the absolute minimum every day will be 3,200 calories.
He's trying to put on as much muscle as quickly as humanly possible, and so he needs those extra calories. In case you're wondering, it requires 2,700 calories approximately in order to build 1 pound of muscle. And so, for example, if you were to try to build 10 pounds of muscle, you need to eat in total about 27,000 extra calories. And so if you were trying to put on 10 pounds of muscle in a year, you'd need to eat approximately 74 additional calories each and every day. Now, if you were trying to put on 10 pounds of muscle in only 3 months, perhaps you have 1 in a million genetics like Hussein Farhat. You would need 300 surplus calories per day in order to put on 10 pounds of muscle in 3 months. Why are y'all bulking on 500 to 1,000 surplus calories? 300 calories a day is enough to put on 10 pounds of muscle in 3 months. If you kept that pace up, that would be 40 pounds of muscle in a year. 40 pounds of muscle in a year, I don't even think Hussein and or Julian was able to do that. And for training a push-pull leg split, and he's going to repeat that, so he's training each body part twice a week.
Can I just show you my physique to show you where I'm at?
Sure.
Boom. Now before you say anything, I am 100% natural.
I can tell.
Here's the thing. Brandon looks natural, but many people who look like that are on performance-enhancing drugs. You can't just tell by looking. Just because you're not as jacked as Eric Janicki or Mr. Olympia competitors doesn't mean that you're 100% natural. A lot of guys who have below-average genetics, they take steroids and would dream to look like that with steroids.
What amount of muscle would impress you that I would gain in 90 days?
5 pounds.
Really? I feel like 5 pounds is pretty doable, no?
5 pounds of muscle in 90 days, an extremely high amount of muscle.
So here's the thing. 5 pounds of muscle in 90 days is very difficult to do for most people who are already maximizing and optimizing their training. If you're already taking creatine, you're already taking Turk Builder Max, you're all taking all the supplements, then it's going to be very difficult to put on that muscle. But if you're under eating, so for example, you're like Tristan Lee and trying to maintain 5% body fat year round, or you're not optimizing your training, or you're perhaps dehydrated.
I'm just constantly dehydrated.
You could very easily put on all that muscle by optimizing everything. And so if he can put on 5 pounds of muscle in 3 months, that would be very, very impressive, but not impossible.
If your muscles, by the next time you train them, they're like very well recovered, add a set or two to that muscle group next week.
I agree with this. Many people, they don't know how hard they should be training. So what I like to tell them, rather than just writing every single thing down and thinking I have to copy an exact plan, I have to have a deload week here and 3 reps in reserve there, go to the gym. And if you're very, very sore, you train too hard, you should go easier. If you go to the gym and you don't feel any soreness whatsoever, you need to go harder, or you could add in more volume. Take your pick. If you're a little bit sore, but a couple days after that you feel normal again, that is the sweet spot. Please continue. That is the simplest way to go to the gym, make the gains, and know how hard to push it.
So after following Dr. Mike's advice for the next week, it was time for my first weigh-in.
Wow, I'm still lean. I haven't gained that much fat. 7 pounds.
In the first week, he's already up 7 pounds. But remember, he's in a calorie surplus. And a lot of your muscle weight, it's full of glycogen. Glycogen is a mixture of carbs and water. For every 1 gram of carb, your body stores 3 grams of water. And so if you add in 1 pound of carbohydrates, it's 454 grams. Your body's going to store 3 pounds of water for a total of 4. Your muscles technically may not have gotten any bigger, but because you're now full of glycogen, your muscles are 4 pounds bigger. And so some people are going to argue that's not lean muscle mass. You didn't build all that muscle. Well, what is it? It isn't fat. And if it's in the muscle, how is it not muscle? And so for me, it's slightly pedantic to say that this wasn't actually muscle. If you add muscle weight to your body, I believe you can call it muscle. Hey, we're just talking about semantics.
Clearly, Eric knows something that I don't about training legs. And throughout the entire leg session, I learned 2 keys to maximizing muscle growth. Number 1, range of motion.
Eric is helping Brandon with his exercise technique, suggesting to go through the full range of motion and to take your time, especially on the eccentric. Many people, they just let the bar drop down really quickly and they're not focusing on their form. And so with Eric, you lift the weight slowly, taking control, and increase time under tension, and that will help you to build more muscle.
And on top of filming videos for my channel, over the last 3 weeks, I've spent every hour of my day either training, eating, or sleeping.
I just don't have enough time throughout the day to cook all my meals. I really don't.
I have a hard time understanding how these multimillionaires cannot afford to have a chef. For those of you who are very wealthy, perhaps you're making at least 6 figures and so on, why not hire a chef in order to cook for you? They don't have to go every day. Perhaps once or twice a week, they can prepare several meals. It's going to free you up to do so many other things. Just think of the ROI. You're perhaps paying them, I don't know, let's call it $25 an hour. If you can make $250 an hour at your own job, work 1 extra hour, which will pay 10 hours of your chef to cook your meals. I don't understand why these rich, famous celebrities don't have a proper chef.
It's officially day 30. I was 163 on day 1. So I'm up 11 pounds in just a month.
He's up 11 pounds in a month. Now, frankly, if this is mostly muscle, this transformation is going to be remarkable. I mean, how many people are now going to accuse Brandon Williams of being a fake natty? We have to assume it's mostly going to be fat and or water.
He's gonna push me hard to make sure I'm stimulating as much muscle growth as possible.
Ooh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, I'll need your help on this one.
And so you can see he's working out harder than last time. He's doing forced reps, partials. He's going to failure. This is how you're supposed to train.
As the halfway point of the challenge approached, I absolutely stuffed myself.
We've got Korean chicken wings, beef bulgogi, 2 sushi rolls, a blue dragon roll, red dragon roll, and then 2 miso soup.
Now I'm noticing that he's eating a lot of food. And for most people, if they start forcing in calories, they're going to get big and fat, not just big. Brandon's case, it's working. I'm not going to lie, it's working. And so I'm not knocking anything he's doing. But if you're the average guy out there and you start eating too many calories and you notice you're getting really fluffy, then the bulk is not going properly.
Because I was feeling so strong, I decided to try my bench PR again, which was a tough 225. And if I break it, then the bulk is definitely working.
And so he manages a PR 245 pounds up from 225, a 20-pound PR. It's about 10%. And so that is a significant increase in strength. And remember, it's very dangerous to go for 1 rep maxes on the bench press. And so rather than going for 1 rep max, can we lighten the weight and go for perhaps a 10 rep max? It's very easy to see if you're getting stronger. Put on 185 pounds instead of 225, and let's say you get it for 10 reps. The next time you do it, put 185 pounds and see if you get it for 12 reps. And if you did, you got stronger by 2 reps. Much safer. Why not give that a try?
So upon research, I discovered that splitting wood is actually a great way to significantly increase your testosterone.
Immediately no. You don't want to go out and split wood and do all these other things in order to boost your testosterone. Lifting weights is going to boost your testosterone. Eating healthy, going to sleep. But if you start doing all the things that boost your testosterone, you're eventually going to overtrain and it's going to actually lower it. But if you did want a supplement to increase testosterone, why not try G-Test Platinum? Science research shows it can improve your testosterone by up to 200 nanograms per deciliter. Remember, it's firstly important to eat a proper diet to get your nutrients from all the foods that you're eating. But by taking this in addition to your diet, you will optimize your ability to produce testosterone. Code Greg, 15% off.
I struggle getting enough food in. How can I cram more food into being that surplus?
Liquid calories is my go-to, like help you get a lot of food down a lot easier.
And so Hussein gives them the tip, if you're struggling to get in enough calories, liquid calories is an excellent way to get your calories in. I expected him to say it was crumble cookie, but hey, I guess you blend the crumble cookies in liquid and that's how you get the most calories possible.
Another day, another workout. See how much I weigh right now. 178.2.
Wasn't he 163 at the start? 178? Are you telling me he put on 15 pounds already? You know, I remember a video where I said I put on 4 pounds of muscle in a month and everyone called me a liar, even though the scale literally was up 4 pounds and I hadn't gained any body fat whatsoever. If I say, hey, since Dubai, I put on about 10 pounds of muscle, would you then say I'm a liar? I mean, if the scale is going up and I'm not getting fat, what is it? Are my bones getting stronger?
Hopefully, at least 5 out of the 15 pounds I've gained so far is muscle and not all fat.
Here's what the truth is. Oftentimes when you gain 15 pounds, 5 will be muscle, 5 will be fat, and 5 will be water. It's something in the middle. The extra glycogen storage, which I talked about, if it's inside the muscle and it isn't watery, well, it kind of is muscle. We could call it muscle, we could call it lean tissue, call it whatever. But if it's body fat, and you're gaining perhaps 10 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle, well, that is too much. You don't need to gain 10 pounds of fat in order to put on 5 pounds of muscle. Because what do you think will happen once you try to diet it off? If you put on 5 pounds of muscle while putting on 10 pounds of fat, when you diet and do that cut, some of that muscle is going to disappear.
I found something.
It's called an ARX machine, and it claims to double the amount of muscle you can put on compared to regular gym weights.
Immediately no. There's no machine that's going to double your gains. If you're already trained to failure and you're already training properly, how could training on a different machine to failure double your muscle gains? It doesn't make sense. Listen, instead of doing one hard set with this fancy $50,000 machine, let's say it is much better. Let's say it's twice as good. You could do 2 sets of regular lifting at a regular gym and make up for it. And so even if it is twice as good and you only need to do 1 set per body part, you could still make up for that by doing multiple sets. It isn't complicated. It's like burning calories. Oh, jogging is better than walking. Okay, jogging burns more calories. You go for 20 minutes in your jog and I'll walk for 40. They're the same thing in the end.
Not only is this machine $50,000, but it's also one of the most efficient ways to gain muscle, because I can get a whole workout in just 25 minutes and save myself 2 hours that I'd be spending in the gym.
No. Okay, Brandon said he's doing push-pull legs. He says this new training system, this machine, takes 25 minutes, which saves him 2 hours in the gym. That means 2 hours plus 25 means he's training for 2 hours and 25 minutes on a push or a pulls or a legs. I train all of those in one day. It takes me 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now, if you want to get my free diet and training programs, right, it's free. You can click the link in the description. I've given over 110,000 of these. And if you want to get Coach Greg as your coach, diet and training, doing everything, apply by clicking the link in the description right now.
This is using AI to tell how much force it needs to push on your muscle.
Oh yeah, AI knows so much more. What are you going to do? Ask ChatGPT how many more reps I need to do?
Some deviled eggs, sourdough.
Sick of eating scrambled eggs every single morning. Because it tastes different, it feels new to me, so I'm able to eat 1 extra egg than I normally do every morning.
If you're sick of eating the same thing every day, and you want to have a variety of foods that are lower in calories, higher in protein, more fiber to keep you satiated and full, Cookbook 3.1 is the one that you need. Now, if you're bulking, this isn't the book for you because it's very low in calories. It's hard to get all the calories in that you need, but most people are not on a bulk. And so if you do want a bulk, I caution you, this is not the book for you. But if you're cutting, so you just finished your bulk and you want to now cut back to a leaner physique, this is the book that you need. Code Greg, 15% off. And if in case you haven't heard of this by now, one of our best sellers, it's GLP Max. You've all heard of GLPs like Ozempic and so on. Why not take a GLP orally? This can reduce your appetite by 28%. I took it for 5 days and I had to stop taking it. My weight was going down, didn't have the energy. I was going hypoglycemic during my bike racing. And so if you want to be fuller than last time, less hungry, less cravings, this is the supplement for you. Code Greg, 15% off.
They never had so much like definition. Now I can actually see like each individual muscle.
Honestly, his legs look just as lean as before, and so Eric's training, very, very effective. I don't think he's gotten any fatter. Now, he said he put on 15 pounds and he was hoping 5 of it was muscle, but I'm freeze framing the leg. Are you looking at this? Does he look like he gained any fat? Is he on the Hussein Farhat diet? How is he putting 15 pounds on after 5 years of already training? Perhaps Hussein needs to go on the Brandon diet and put on 15 pounds from right now.
After 90 days of hard work, it was time to see just how much muscle I gained. And let's just say the results were not what I was expecting.
And so again, he's in the hydrostatic weighing. It's not the most accurate. The most accurate, aside from my laser eyes, it's actually an MRI. MRI is very, very expensive, however, and so not practical for everyday measurements. But the underwater weighing, it is going to be fairly accurate depending on the person that's testing. If you're not comfortable or the person testing makes a mistake, you might not blow out all of your air and your body fat may be in fact higher than estimated. And I do have experience with testing myself and other individuals with this form of testing from way back in university. And so I do in fact like it.
No way.
It's actually pretty impressive.
That much weight gained and very little fat mass.
Remember, most people think not possible or very unlikely to put on 5 pounds of muscle in 3 months. Was it possible? And is Brandon, in fact, natural?
On day 0, I weighed 163 pounds. On day 90, I weighed 173 pounds.
That's interesting.
Day 90, 173 pounds. And so what happened is he went up to 178, which was 15 pounds. But at the end, he actually went down to 173 pounds. And so although he says he was bulking for 90 days, 3,200 calories or more, he actually lost some weight at the end. And so what perhaps actually happened is he was struggling to get in enough calories and he started to go on perhaps a little bit of a mini cut. How else do you explain it? He was up 15 pounds. We were thinking, yeah, he's probably getting a bit of body fat, but at the end, he ended up at only 10 pounds above his weight. And so what may have happened is his mom, who was preparing him all those meals, bringing him all those cookies, got Coach Greg's cookbook and was making him low-calorie meals and low-calorie cookies. It is possible. When you do go on a calorie deficit, a lot of times you're losing that water weight. And so that is what you're losing when you first start a diet. Let's assume he was up 15 pounds in the first 10 weeks. In the final 2 weeks, he dropped 5. A lot of that is going to be that water weight. And so the end results, it should be either muscle and or fat. Let's find out.
My day 0 body fat was 13.75%. My day 90 body fat was 13.13%.
No way. And so he put on more than 10 pounds of muscle. He started at 13.75% and he cut to 13.13%. He went on 90-day bulk, but ended up leaner. And so technically, is it really bulking if you get leaner? He dropped his body fat percentage. What do we call this in the real world? Greg's world, think of it. Like, we're thinking this out loud. What do we actually call this? He main gained. No, he didn't maintain because he was bulking. If he was bulking, how come his body fat is the same? He ate in a calorie surplus, whatever that may be. We don't know exactly what it was. And whatever he ate, it turned into muscle. Main gained 11 in 90 days. Natural. But oh, Hussein's a fake Natty. This guy's a fake. No one could ever put on muscle. Oh, Coach Greg, 4 pounds of muscle in a month. 11 pounds in 90 days, main gaining.
Your traps are just like totally different level of roundness now. Your arms look bigger, way rounder delts. Your chest looks notably thicker.
And so guys, can we stop with the you need to bulk and it's impossible to put on muscle? Or do we just assume that he's a fake Natty? Perhaps we should call up the catabolic twig. Okay, catabolic twig, 10 pounds of muscle, rock hard muscle in 90 days. After training for 5 straight years, 10 pounds of muscle in 90 days. Some people can just put on muscle very quickly. It just happens. Perhaps the creatine and HMB was added. What was the secret? Was he on peptides? Was he sneaking in HRT? We don't know. Do we? Do we know for sure? I can't say for sure. I think that he's natural. Do I have proof that he's natural? Nope. Guess what I would need? I would need his blood work. If on the 90th day he had given me his blood work and I read it, I would say he did it natural. Oh, but you couldn't tell. He could have been on low doses. I could tell. It would affect his LH, his FSH, his testosterone level. We would see it. I believe him. If you want to believe that he did this, that he was a cheater, because there's no way you can put on 10 pounds of muscle in 90 days after you've been training for 5 years, then believe that. Whatever makes you happy. If you being happy, you need to think that he must have cheated to gain 10 pounds of muscle, then believe that. But if you think, hey, he did it natural, maybe I can do it too, then believe that as well. Just don't be disappointed. Remember, comparison is the thief. If you can remember that comparison is the thief, you will stop comparing yourself to other people. You can get his program. You can copy his 90 days lifting, dieting, training. You can do everything he stated. And at the end of the 90 days, if you only gain 3 pounds of muscle, it's still impressive. It's not 10, but it's still impressive. And so why not try? Rather than blaming and pointing the finger at everyone else and saying, oh, they cheated. They must have cheated because I couldn't do it. Why not just say, I don't give a shit. I'm not comparing myself to them, and do the best that you can. Interested in getting your blood work taken, or for example, if you need prescription medications like Cialis, Viagra, Tadalafil, and Clomiphene, and so on, click the link in the description for the cheapest prices you can get at AlgoRx. Doctor makes it easier than ever. You fill out a few questions. They will prescribe and send prescription medications to your door. Very easy at much cheaper prices than other companies. Don't forget to enter code Greg to get an additional 10% off. As well, reminder to get momentous clothing by clicking the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please go and watch Brandon's amazing video. I really enjoyed it, giving hope to the naturals that you can still put on some muscle. Watch one of those 2 bloops, and until next time, I am out.